Ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. We will begin with the recitation from the Holy Quran.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. शुरू अल्लाह का नाम लेकर जो बड़ा मेहरबान निहायत रहम वाला है।
इन्ना अअतैनाकल कौसर।
ए नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, हमने तुमको कौसर यानी बहुत ज्यादा भलाई अता फरमाई है।
फसल्लि लिरब्बिक वन्हर।
तो अपने परवरदिगार के लिए नमाज पढ़ा करो और कुर्बानी किया करो।
इन्न शानिअक हुवल अबतर।
कुछ शक नहीं कि तुम्हारा दुश्मन ही बेनाम रहेगा।
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Day 2 of Gandhara Symposium. We will begin with Session-4, titled Exploring the Spirit of Gandhara, Preserving the Past and Illuminating the Future. The moderator of the session is Dr. Asma Ibrahim. Dr. Asma Ibrahim is a senior archaeologist, museologist, and conservationist. She is the founder, director of State Bank of Museum, Archives and Art Gallery Department. She is chair International Council of Money and Banking Museums, board member of Commonwealth Association of Museums, and member standing committee of Finance and Resource Committee, International Council for Museums, Paris. She has a PhD in numismatics and postdoctoral in archaeological chemistry. She has carried out several excavations in Balochistan and Sindh and the Indus Delta area. I request the chair to please come on the stage. The speakers of the session include Professor Ruth Young, Ms. Ji Yung Jung, Mr. Nishanta Pushpa Kumara, Professor Dr. Haridya Ratna Bajracharya, and Professor Yang Dibao. I request the speakers to please join the chair on the stage. I would request the panelists and the audience sitting here to please put their mobiles on silent or lower the volume so we can have a good session. Thank you.
Hello, good morning, and assalamu alaikum to everyone. Today, as Maruk said, today is the last day of our conference, and we had very interesting proceedings yesterday, the whole day. And I would like to begin with the introduction of our distinguished speakers we have today with us in this panel. To start with is Dr. Ruth Young. Dr. Young is Professor of Archaeology at the University of Leicester. Professor Young completed her PhD at the University of Bradford. She's a specialist in the archaeology of South Asia and Middle East. She was elected as a Fellow of the Society of Antiquaries of London. Our second speaker is Miss Yung Young. Ms. Young is a member of Korea Cultural Foundation since 2003. She has vast experience of working with Cultural Foundation at Gyeonggi in Institute of Cultural Properties. Since August 2021, under Korea Cultural Heritage Foundation, Ms. Yi is working at Pakistan for development of cultural promotion and tourism resources of the Gandhara. Our third speaker is Ms. Nishanta Pushpa Kumara. Mr. Pushpa Kumara is Director Planning, Ministry of Buddha Sasana, Religious and Cultural Affairs. He has served in multiple ministries, including Ministry of Health, Ministry of Special Projects, Ministry of National Policies and Economic Affairs, and Ministry of Finance Affairs. Dr. Haridya Ratna Bajracharya has also served as VC Lumbini University, Nepal. Our next speaker is Dr. Haridya Ratna Bajracharya. Dr. Bajracharya is former Vice Chancellor, Lumbini Buddhist University. Successful professional engagements and contributions to the educational developments in the country through the institutions where he worked, where his work brought him to the current responsibility of leading the Lumbini Buddhist University as the Vice Chancellor. He was technical advisor to the University Grants Commission for implementing the second higher education project. So our last speaker is Dr. Xiang Dibao. Dr. Dibao is a professor at the School of International Journalism and Communication of Beijing Foreign Studies University and the director of the Research Center for International Public Opinion and Global Governance. He holds PhD from the School of Journalism and Communication, Tsinghua University, China, and Macquarie University, Australia. So as you can see that we have a very good mixture of different fields with us today, and I'm sure that this is going to be a very interesting discussion about our topic, exploring the spirit of Gandhara, preserving the past and illuminating the future. So the session would go like few of our speakers have short presentations, so you will also enjoy the presentation, and then we'll have their remarks, and in the last we can have question and answers. So to start with, thank you. Dr. Rupa.
Thank you very much, Dr. Asma. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Good morning, and thank you very much for coming out and for welcoming us all here. It is, as always, a great pleasure to be in Pakistan. So I want to talk today a little bit about how we might think about preserving the past and illuminating the future, using the whole idea of Buddhist Gandhara as an example. And we know... Sorry. Thank you. Moving the slides on. We know that religious sites, heritage sites, are very important for religious practice, for things like pilgrimage, but they're also incredibly important, as is all heritage, for building identity, for building national identity, for building community identity, and for building personal identity. And I want to touch on this sort of broadly in this very short presentation, but I also want to stress that some of the things I'm talking about are very much the work of Dr. Abdul Samad, the director of the Directorate of Archaeology and Museums in Peshawar for Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. There's a lot of the work that he's been doing, I do think, embodies some of the ideas that are very important in preserving the past and presenting the future. I just want to start a little bit by stepping back from Gandhara and thinking about the 6 World Heritage Sites that Pakistan has inscribed on the UNESCO World Heritage List. Now, you'll all be familiar with these. We have Taktabai and Sari Balal, which are major Buddhist sites, Taxila, a major Buddhist city, Rohtas, an Islamic period fort, the necropolis at Makli, at Thatta, believed to be the largest Islamic cemetery in the world, Lahore Fort, Shalimar Gardens, and of course Mohenjo-Daro. Now, of these 6 sites, 2 are Buddhist. And I think that's actually very important. So 1/3, 2 out of 6 of these inscribed World Heritage Sites are Buddhist, which I think is very important. And these sites were inscribed relatively early in Pakistan's history, that it's important that these sites are seen to be part of Pakistan, then an Islamic republic, consciously choosing to celebrate multiple religions. And this speaks to a government, to a country that is concerned with and interested in religious plurality, multiple religions. It shows a strong commitment, I think, on the part of the government. Now, in terms of archaeological sites in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, to focus back down again on this area, there are something like 6,000 sites, well, there are more than 6,000 sites, archaeological sites from all periods recorded in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. The periods covered here include prehistoric, Hindu Shai, Islamic, Sikh, and British periods. The number of recorded Buddhist sites in KPK is now well over 2,000. And again, this is really significant. This means that Buddhist sites account for 1/3 of all the sites that are being recorded in KPK. Demonstrates not only the significance of Buddhism here, but also that it's a major archaeological resource. So it's the significance of Buddhism in the past, but also the significance of these sites as a heritage resource now and in the future. And Dr. Samad has also talked about the potential, if we're able to work in the recently merged FATA regions, the tribal regions, and exploring there, being able to carry out archaeological exploration there. One of the things that the government of KPK, the Directorate, has been doing so well is outreach and open days. And I think that these are critical if we are to preserve the past and present the future of Gandhara. Reaching out to schools, reaching out to community groups, reaching out to people who might not normally visit archaeological sites, who think that perhaps museums are not for them. This is a duty that I think all of us who are archaeologists and heritage professionals and practitioners have. And I think that the Directorate of Archaeology has been doing this very well over the last 5 to 10 years. And it's very important to keep doing this because it's part of sort of educational outreach that is critical. Open days at sites such as Gulgutri and Peshawar, these have also been important, not necessarily focusing explicitly on Buddhist archaeology, but raising the profile of all heritage and archaeology in the region, and that I think is really, really important. To do this work not just in urban areas, but also to go out to places like Dir and Swat and Chitral and work with communities there, engage communities. Not just education in school, but talking to people of all ages and trying to make sure that hidden communities are not lost. And by hidden communities, I mean maybe disabled people, the elderly, people who might not be able to go out themselves to engage in such projects. Nevertheless, they are an important part of communities that need to be involved if we are able to preserve or to think about preserving the past for the future. Also, really important is reaching out beyond Pakistan, beyond KPK, and taking Gandhara to the world. We heard yesterday about many of the problems about people being able to visit Pakistan, a lot to do with perception and some to do with visas, but it's also about taking Gandhara to the outside world. And in 2017, a major exhibition of Buddhist artworks was taken to Korea. There was a 3-month-long Gandhara exhibition in Seoul, and of course Peshawar Museum, which as we all know is world-renowned for its collection of Gandharan art and artefacts, loaned 42 pieces to that exhibition. There's also a further exhibition in Zurich in Switzerland at the Reitberg Museum, and this involved the massive Buddha statue from the Peshawar Museum being transported with considerable logistical challenges, of course, to Switzerland, and around about 35,000 people viewed this exhibition and were able to see the statue, which was a central part of it. And this, I think, is also really important in terms of the identity of Pakistan internationally. This is sending very strong message about how Buddhist archaeology, Buddhist heritage is valued, and this idea of the respect for different religions and plurality of religions. And also, as many of you know, many of you have been involved in the visits by different cohorts, different groups of Buddhist monks and nuns from different parts of the world coming to Gandhara, coming to Pakistan to see for yourselves what is here, how the heritage is treated. That's also really important, and as mentioned yesterday, it's part of this people-to-people connection. And it doesn't just involve people who are Buddhist tourists, particularly Buddhist religious tourists, Buddhist pilgrims, but it is about learning about the country itself, seeing sites from multiple religions, seeing how sites from Sikh heritage, Hindu heritage, as well as Buddhist heritages are valued, and taking that knowledge away, taking that knowledge back to your own country and sharing it with people so it spreads out in little ripples from all of us. I think that's also really important for preserving the past for the future. Okay, there. What I think is really important is that we have all of these multiple things going on, that we have different levels of engagement, different levels of trying to share information, both internally and externally, working with communities, working with different international groups, and government to government connection as well as people to people. I think all of this is very important. I think it's also worth remembering the power of the name Gandhara. And this is something that particularly fascinates me, how the name Gandhara, as part of heritage, as part of this identity building, has evolved over the years. So we have the name Gandhara, and here is just 3 examples that I've collected over the years. The beautiful new airport that we will have all landed at, those of us who've come especially from abroad for this conference, it has the Gandhara galleries. And I know that there was some debate about whether the airport should actually be called the Gandhara International Airport. And Gandhara is used as a name that's trustworthy, whether it's for a school or whether it's for car parts. You know, Gandhara has taken on a life of its own above and beyond the heritage. That's a very important part of identity building. And I think that all of these initiatives, all these things that the government are doing, the government is supporting, are very important for helping us find ways for ensuring that Gandhara is preserved. We're preserving the past and we're presenting it in the future. And having all of these different visitor groups, I think, is really important. But I do just want to also add a word of caution here. And of course, you will have all seen this beautiful book, The Land of Gandhara. And having volumes like this is important, not just for presenting what is there now, but also for giving visitors something tangible to take away with them. That is also important. But I just wanted to finish with a bit of a word of caution about tourism, which I know has been something that has been discussed over the last day and will be discussed further today, I hope. But tourism is not necessarily always a good thing. Now, it's very easy to think of using heritage sites to develop tourism, but recording heritage sites, perhaps developing them for public attention, does have major drawbacks. There's problems around looting, problems around vandalism, of course. We also have to make decisions around what is preserved and conserved, because no government, no matter how rich, has enough money to preserve every single heritage site. And when you think that in KPK alone, there are over 6,000 heritage sites and over 2,000 Buddhist heritage sites, that's a massive thing, and you have to make decisions. We're seeing tourists return to KPK, to heritage sites, which is good in financial terms, but it's also important to have community involvement in heritage and community engagement, and not have tourist money simply siphoned off to national or multinational corporations and hotels and restaurants. It needs to be grassroots as well. Also, relying entirely on tourism financially, as COVID-19 has showed, is a problem. I think really what I want to say, though, to sort of sum up, is that to preserve Gandhara for the past and present it in the future, it is important to remember that I think that the government of Pakistan has always had this explicit use of heritage as part of its identity, as part of its national identity creation. And I think that is very important. And it's important to remember that Pakistan has always been respectful of different religions, respectful of different religious sites. And that is something that by both carrying out outreach, education, promotion within the country becomes more, people become more aware of it, more understanding of it, but also by taking Gandhara outside the country too, through exhibitions, through sharing, and through people-to-people interaction. I think that's very important. Anyway, thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Dr. Now, is it working? Can you hear me? It's not working. But can you hear me? Okay. So not to waste further time, I would request Miss Yi Yu Yang. Do you have a presentation? Okay. So please go ahead.
제일 처음? The first. 어떻게 봐?
이게 선생님이 여기서 이게 제일 처음 아닌가요? 아니 맞습니까? 제가 거기서 쓸 수 있는 일단 첫 번째 거 해놓고요.
어떻게?
요 위로 이걸 누르거나 요걸 누르거나
So I need to go to the first page. Yeah. No, this is the last page. 다 보여주지 말고 좀 가릴래. 니만 진짜 좀. 그럼 안 보이지? 됐다. 됐어.
자, 이제 선생님이 하시면
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor to have the opportunity to address such a distinguished audience today. My name is Lee Yoon-jung, Research Officer of Korea Cultural Heritage Foundation. I'm in charge of conservation of artifacts for the Gandhara project. Now, let me start my presentation with an instruction on Korea Cultural Heritage Foundation. The Korea Cultural Heritage Foundation is affiliated organization of Korea Cultural Heritage Administration and has been conducting official development of assistance in the field of cultural heritage in Laos, Cambodia, Uzbekistan, Myanmar, and Pakistan. I'd like to talk about what the Korea Cultural Heritage Foundation is carrying out to conserve and utilize the cultural heritage of Gandhara, which has significant historical value and potential as a tourism resource for the future generations. In 2019, the Korea Cultural Heritage Administration and Korea Cultural Heritage Foundation conducted a feasibility study in Pakistan focused on the Gandhara cultural heritage with active support of Korea Embassy in Pakistan. In following year, the Korea Cultural Heritage Foundation and Department of Archaeology and Museums, Islamabad, collaborated closely and agreed on a project for 5 years, which will run from 2021 to 2025. To conserve and utilize the cultural heritage of Gandhara, we are offering establishment of Gandhara Cultural Heritage Research Center, Gandhara Site Inventory and Investigation, Gandhara Cultural Heritage Promotion and Capacity Development. First, let me explain on the Gandhara Cultural Heritage Research Center. We have established the Gandhara Cultural Heritage Research Center by renovating approximately 436 square meters of space within the Department of Archaeology and Museums, Islamabad. The purpose of this research center is to conduct and systematic conservation and management of Gandhara cultural heritage, as well as to facilitate research and training programs for the students and professionals related to Pakistan cultural heritage. We established the conservation and analysis lab for metal, terracotta, stone artifacts. We installed various conservation treatment equipment, chemicals, and tools for most inorganic artifacts, such as abrasive, vacuum impregnate, magnifier. In addition, it is proposed to support the analysis equipment of microscope, US microscope, portable XRF, based on the study of cultural heritage. With the help of supported equipment and chemicals, we are carrying out conservation treatment and analysis of artifacts. I think we are already a step ahead for conservation and study of Gandhara cultural heritage. Next is about training workshop. To utilize and enhance the capability to conserve and restore cultural heritage, we offering training workshop for experts and students on cultural heritage in Pakistan. In 2021, we provided 5 days workshop for conservation treatment for ceramics to 15 participants. In 2022, we provided 10 days workshop for conservation treatment for bronze artifacts to 20 participants from different provinces, departments, and universities. In 2023, we provided 5 days workshop on Code of Ethics for Conservation to 33 participants. We provide practical as well as theoretical program to improve and enhance the capacity of the students and the concerned experts. Through this training workshop, Gandhara cultural heritage will be conserved, studied, and enriched, thereby enhancing the value and significance of cultural heritage. Next, let me explain about Gandhara site investigation. There are 3 aspects of Gandhara site investigation methodology, such as research, on-site investigation, and digitization. The inventory report contains rewritten history of site, updated architectural documentation, drawings, and conservation status. These reports will be published and available for general public by the end of the project. After field investigation, with the help of drone and DSLR image, we make a complete scan, 3D, and layout of the site. We update the old data, such as John Marshall's drawings, with the help of these outcomes. These results will be used to develop the site, especially for the tourists. We will update the site layouts, signs, and labels, which will help the tourists to understand easily. This will also contribute to digital exhibition of Gandhara heritage. We can also monitor the structure changes at the site with the help of these data by the time. During 2022, we covered 16 sites of Taxila. While in 2023, the focus is Peshawar Valley in KP province, and we will covering 15 Gandhara sites. I hope that this project will become a center hub for Gandhara conservation and the Pakistan cultural heritage, and symbolic place for proving friendship between Pakistan and Korea. Thank you. Shukriya.
So now I would like to request Mr. Nishanta Pushpa Kumara for his presentation.
Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, Reverend Sir, prominent researchers, academic personnel, and ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I'm not going to do some presentation since I'm looking on a different angle this project. So actually keep on topic preserving for the future the history or archaeological things actually means sustainability. So simply say sustainability. Without sustainability we cannot move ahead. So few strategies there to highlight. In my angle, we have to plant this history, this spiritual things, or what we found in Gandhara, in the people's mind. So creating more education engagements, research and developments, so we can do the things at the deposit these things in the people to come or generation to come. Actually, archaeology is the truth. Preserving archaeology means we are preserving the truth for the next generation. So it helps us to transmit the understanding, the way of living to the generation to come, future generation, simply. Actually, when we think about tangible and intangible, yesterday also we were talking about the things. To prove, most of the time, to prove intangible things, we have to preserve the tangibles. Actually, what we are talking about here, the tangibles, especially when we talk about the Buddhist tourism in Pakistan, Buddhist philosophy or the spirituality come with the Buddhism is not spread in the community. So in that way, we have to think. Actually, since I am not an archaeologist or working in that field, I'm working in the finance and development planning field, I must highlight few more things in that side. Actually, government must put more effort on finance for the this sector, put more research and development, and especially, Professor said, community awareness, and skill, building up a skilled labor or skilled manpower, that will help. And like I said earlier, more engagement on academia side, and community awareness. Mainly, I put few things on the community awareness because the community have the authentic power to bring this project ahead, or they have the power to stop. My view is we have to aware the community, not this is a religious project or this is a Buddhism project. Convince them this is their own project. Convince them this is their livelihood. So when engage the community, it is their livelihood. So with that one, we no need to actually, government no need to start livelihood for the communities. We have to support by providing infrastructure. So there are several livelihood activities arising with the tourism project, especially religious tourism. So I'm not going to tell each and everything, but there are a lot of. So in that way, we have to aware the community. So this is your own project. This belongs to you. Then no one going to destroy their livelihoods. So in that way, we have to address. And like our the previous speakers mentioned, that the put effort on digital technology is must. So digital platforms, yesterday also we have talked about, it will help to bring the past to the future generation. So for the sustainable of this project, we have to bring this to the future generation. And yes, the infrastructure, yesterday also we have talked. That's also, I think, a must. No need to start at the very beginning all the infrastructures. Step by step we could do that actually. Basic facilities expected by the visitors. So we have to put effort on that also. So those are the things actually I have to highlight. At the discussion, I think we could discuss more. Thank you very much.
So now I would request Dr. Haritya Ratna for his presentation, please.
Namaskar. Namo Ratnatrayaya.
Please choose remote for presentation.
Thank you.
Hit this button.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. First of all, I bring hearty greetings from Nepal and also from Lumbini, the birthplace of Buddha, where I work as a Vice Chancellor of Lumbini Buddhist University, for the grand success of the conference and wish grandeur to Gandhara. I was thinking about the spirit behind Gandhara, trying to explore. That was the task given to me. And also look forward how we move ahead in utilizing the spirit. 3 spirits I will talk about. I have put it in my slide. But then the 4th, while I participating here, I realized I should share with you, and maybe you know, everybody knows. We have been talking the antiquity of Gandhara and also beyond. As Venerable Anila yesterday mentioned, we are talking about Gandhara, but it is beyond. Yes, it goes beyond to Mohenjo-daro, to Harappa, and so on and so forth. Actually, one spirit very much tied up with this area is dhyana. Buddha, he revised it, he remade it, he innovated vipassana. But dhyana was there. Buddha had learned dhyana. And there is a Buddha Vamsa, one Pali canon literature, which talks about 28 Buddhas. In Nepal, we talk about 7 Buddhas who visited Nepal Valley, Kathmandu Valley. And Lumbini is home to 3 Buddhas. Krakuchanda Buddha, Kanakamuni Buddha, and Sakyamuni Buddha. When we are talking about 2500, 2600 years ago, we are talking about Sakyamuni Buddha. But other Buddhas are there also. So I thought, maybe we all pay tribute to that spirit which led to becoming Buddha. And this word is very important, becoming Buddha. No Buddha was born. Buddha had become. And every human being, each of us, has that potentiality of becoming Buddha. That is Buddhism. So may I propose that we spend, I would request the chairperson, 1 minute to allow me to practice dhyana. Maybe many of us know, here are the monks, the bhikshus, the venerables. I am a little bit shy to talk about dhyana in front of them. But nonetheless, dhyana is our heritage. Heritage we started from this place, perhaps. And vipassana is what Buddha revised it, innovated it. Very simple. We have been listening to presentation. We have been concerned with discussion and so on and so forth. But Vipassana teaches us to be conscious of ourselves, our body, and our mind. Very interesting. Buddha's teachings in three Tripitakas, Sutta Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, the disciplines, and Abhidhamma Pitaka, about the mind and Chitta. I am, traditionally I've been following Mahayana, Vajrayana to be more precise. And Vajrayana has conceptualized the two realms of life. One life is physical, which you can feel, which you can taste, which you can acquire, which you can repeat, which comes in the realm of physical science. But then the other realm is the mental. It is beyond that physical part. You cannot catch it. You cannot weigh your wish. You cannot weigh your anger. So that's another dimension, two realms. And we human beings are momentously living in between the two realms, the physical realm and the mental realm. And physically we may be here, mentally we may be somewhere else, and vice versa. So that is life, moment to moment. And Vipassana teaches us to be mindful of that. And this is what Buddha used to challenge that time the other preachers. And it is said, again, correct me if I'm reading it otherwise, I request to venerable monks. Sakhvato Bhagavata Dhamma Sandithiko Akaliko Yehi Pasiko Viditavyam. Here, come with your open mind, without any defilement, and see the Dhamma, see the deeds and its consequences. You feel it. Come here. You can see it. You can see it, and you can really learn it. That is his point. I think this is also, I'm very much sure, a discourse of Takshashila University. And this Vipassana teaches us that. Very simple, 1 minute. 1 minute is equivalent to 15 inhale, 15 exhale. 1 inhale, 1 exhale, 15 times is almost 1 minute. And what you do, simply, when you inhale, when you take your air inside, you feel cool here. With the fresh air going in, you feel cool. And when you exhale, it is coming from your body. It is warm, 38 degrees centigrade. So you can feel it. Just concentrate, inhale, exhale. Don't think of anything. Forget everything. Just feel your breathe. Cool air going inside, warm air coming outside. And that will situate your mind with your body. This 1 minute is just demonstration. I have only 10 minutes, so 1 minute I dedicate to this. We start now. Please join us, everybody, including our camera persons and the technical person. Please feel it, feel it. Feel it, the goodness of this meditation, the dhyana. Start now. Close your eyes and then just concentrate. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I hope you felt good even with this 1 minute meditation. The longer you do, the better you will feel about yourself. And this is proven thing, physically, scientifically. You can prove it. Now, now let me enter into my presentation. Sorry. Well, I have been a teacher, so I would like to start with theory. And that is the principle which was given by Buddha. All worldly phenomena are momentarily impermanent. They arise and they vanish. Whence observe this with in-depth knowledge, wisdom, and compassion. Thus ends the issue of sufferings. This is the purifying way forward. Buddha is remembered as a teacher. He never called himself God, neither the followers of Buddhism. Guru Buddha, Guru Dharma, Guru Sangha, Tathaivacha, we call Guru. And this is the point he taught. And I think when we are present here talking about this topic, Gandhara, it's past, it's present, and the way forward. I think this teaching is very important. This is the present map. And the past map, this is the past map. Over 2,000 years ago, around 2,500 years ago, there used to be 16 Janapadas, Mahajanapadas. And very interesting, Gandhara, Magadha, this Sakya is not even a Janapada where Buddha was born. It was part of Mahajanapada. It is Janapada, part of Mahajanapada. Sorry. Well, going back 2,500 years ago, Gandhara was at the crux of magnificent heritage of Sindhu Ghati civilization and its awesome interaction with other epically powerful contemporary civilizations. And the grandeur of prosperities in terms of economy, in terms of economy, culture, art, and architecture. Unbelievable. That time, at a time when most parts of the world were still riled under brutal laws of forces. Here, Gandhara was already prospering with the concept of republic. It's not a kingdom as it is classically understood. Mahajanapadas were almost like republics. And the historical context of Gandhara, we have been talking much about this, so I'm not going to elaborate on this one. But when we talk about Gandhara, it is immortalized. It is immortalized in a unique way because of the Gandhara style art and sculpture. And the spirit number one, hence, I'm more trying to analyze from that perspective. What is the spirit of Gandhara? It is reflected in the stone sculpture of fasting Siddhartha. It's one example. Why? The high relief, the undercutting of the arms and the open spaces, so detailed. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the detailedness? Can you see the knobs going that way. How long it must have taken to the person who sculpted this? Can you imagine? Can you imagine how this person kept everything in his memory? How detailed he must have observed, imagined. That is so important. And that was possible here. And that will be possible with a spirit. What is spirit? The spirit, other name of spirit is alcohol. Alcohol is also called spirit, yeah? When you have alcohol, spirited, when you are spirited, you are very much ingrained into that part. That spirit, that drives us, that is spirit. And that spirit will be possible only on a very strong belief, faith, devotion, passion for details, and perseverance. This is the spirit of Gandhara. Number one spirit. I should say number two now. One is already dhyana, we have experienced. Then what is the next spirit? The next spirit is academic excellence. Takshashila is understood as study center, education center, university from today's perspective. But it is not just a university. It is not just a university. It has produced epically powerful people of that time. Chanakya, he was behind the success of Chandragupta Maurya in establishing the Maurya Empire. See, he was the teacher of Takshashila. Panini, the Sanskrit language that has grandeur, that we are really observing today, it was possible because of Panini. And he was the teacher of Gandhara, this Takshashila University. South Tantric is a very powerful school of Buddhism. He was also, Kumarata was also teacher of this Takshashila University. Students, look at the list of students. This King Pasenadi of Kosala, he is said to be of Greek origin, was student of Gandhara, this Takshashila. His commander was student of this Takshashila. Angulimala, you might have heard about Angulimala story. He was a student of this Takshashila. Jivaka, the great medicine person, the doctor, he was from here. And Charaka, Ayurveda, the whole Ayurveda, it has evolved from Takshashila. And Chandragupta Maurya himself was from Takshashila. And so many people from Nepal have come to Takshashila for study. So many people from Takshashila have come to Nepal. So I feel I am really, when I've got chance of this invitation, I felt, yes, I must go to Takshashila to pay my homage. This is my pilgrimage also. I'm putting this rosary in that remembrance. And these people, they have driven almost 1,000 years of the world. That time, this world around this Buddha's place, around this Gandhara place. So this is a powerful center. It's a powerful center. This is possible here. Not possible. This had happened earlier. So this is the spirit that Gandhara, we must explore, we must find out, we must be mindful. Very important part. Yeah. And the third spirit, we have been talking about the sculpture, the Hellenistic part of sculpture, the Mathura style, and other Gangetic plain style, and also the local ingenuity. We have talked about that. That can happen only when people are mindful of what are there, and very bold enough and innovative to ingrain them and make its own. That is the capacity which Gandhara represents. So this is the fourth spirit, I should say, fourth spirit of Gandhara. Very important part. And very interestingly, I have put this picture because on the picture in the middle, very interesting picture. On the right corner is a Kushan lay worshipper, lay follower. After that person, the second person is Avalokiteswara, Bodhisattva. This is Mahayana concept, Mahayana. And Bodhisattva. Bodhisattva is a concept which says that this, I take a Bodhisattva vow, and that means I am taking the path towards nirvana. But I will not acquire nirvana for myself only. I will dedicate my life, and not only one life, whatever life it takes, I will dedicate myself for helping others to gain nirvana as well. That is the Bodhisattva vows. So Bodhisattva is not only taking part of this Samyak Sambodhi or Buddha's teachings, but also coming back to normal life, lay people's life, living like a king, living like an administrator, living like anywhere you are, where you are born, but taking very consciously that I will dedicate my life for that part. And then in the middle is Buddha himself, and after that is Maitreya Buddha, the Buddha who is forthcoming, who is not here already, but he is forthcoming. And the fifth is the Bhikshu, the venerable monks like we have here. So this is the kind of, bringing all together. Thank you. So this is very important concept that developed in Taksishila as well. Now this is my last slide. No, what happened? I'm sorry. Okay, something went wrong. Okay, anyway. So my suggestion for future prospect is, okay, can you go up? More up, more up, more up, more up, more up. One more up. Thank you. See, Gandhara was at the apical height during Buddha's time. And I presume Buddhism must have epitomized the then development trends of Gandhara because of its logical concept, clear vision, and practical ways of attaining higher realms of life, following the famous 3 jewel principles. Principle number 1, Buddha is not God. Buddha is the highest state a man can achieve with the attainment of enlightening knowledge, wisdom, and compassion towards all. Second, Dhamma is the ethical commitment of proactively following the laws and principles illuminated by the enlightening knowledge and wisdom. And Sangha is associating with fellow human beings for sharing and practicing the Dhamma. So these are the 3 concepts which must have prevailed during the time Gandhara was at height. In brief, it is living on the basis of knowledge-based society with ethically responsible people and shared vision. Gandhara, mindful of the past, careful of the present, surely will succeed in becoming a center of attraction to generate prosperity for all, not only for Gandhara, but for all. Bhavatu Sabha Mangalam. Thank you very much. I'm sorry.
No. Thank you, Dr. Harithia. Now I would like to request Dr. Jiang Tibao for his presentation, please.
Good morning, dear distinguished guest. Okay, let me see. Okay, first of all, I briefly introduce myself. My name is Dabao. I come from Beijing Foreign Studies University. Actually, I'm a communication scholar. And Beijing Foreign Studies University is a language-based university, renowned as a corridor for diplomat. Okay, so we have over 400 ambassadors and over 2,000 consulars, right? So second one, let me see. Okay, so yesterday we have a whole day's discussion about the Gandhara civilization. Okay, I'm really impressed with Dr. Ramesh. He says this is the Pakistan dream. Okay, so I think we are on the way to revive the Gandhara civilization, right? So I think that is of great wisdom as a Muslim country. It is a great significance and great wisdom for the Pakistan government for the preservation and promotion of the Gandhara civilization. Okay, so Gandhara civilization in this sense is not only a legacy for China, for Pakistan, but also for all the world and for all the human beings. Okay, so I think this is one. Second, so since it is a great dream for the Pakistan government and the people, I think when we communicating the Gandhara civilization to the world, we need to balance several relationships. Okay, so this is my main point. Okay, so first of all, the first relationship is communication and modernization. I think right now, yesterday, we have discussed a lot about concepts like cultural communication, cultural diplomacy, promotion, tourism, soft power. I think it's all related to my area, that is communication. But I think communication, it is important, but it is far from enough because communication is only half of the surface, okay? So in my point, okay, it is not only about communication, but it is not only about communicating to the international audiences, but it is an all-out campaign to mobilize the Pakistan people to fulfill their dreams and need for a better and prosperous future. So this is my idea, okay? So I think in this sense, it is not only a communication, but it's all-out modernization. It is not about the international audiences, but it's concerned about all the people in Pakistan. Okay, so this is the first relationship. So as we know that because I have read many international medias, I think there are some misconceptions constructed by the international media, like that is unsafe, and there's poverty, conflict, terrorism, etc. So when we are going to build up our concept, right? So we need to construct our identity, to construct our image, to change the misperception, to win the heart and mind of the whole world. Okay, so the second one, I think the relationship, it is not only about Buddhism. Okay, so as we know that Gandhara civilization, okay, I prefer use the words, okay, it is not only about Buddhism, it is about, I prefer the words civilization, because from my understanding, I think civilization is much more concept. Okay, it is about the existence of the people, of the culture, of all the human beings, right? So in this sense, it is about the inter-civilization of the West and the East, the peaceful coexistence of the differences of the cultures, religions, groups, etc. on this beautiful land. Okay, I think we need to clarify some concept. This is the second relationship. The third one, that is the mutual understanding and exchanges among all the civilizations. Okay, I emphasize that now. The next one, I think it is not only about the statues, the stupas, or concerned with the physical world, but it's more about, okay, I think it's more about ideas. Just now, the former speaker have mentioned that. So we need to dig out the concept, the ideas, the thought behind the Gandhara civilizations. From my perspective, I think there are a lot of concepts, because I think really concept or ideas matters, like the equality, the mutual understanding, the dialogue, inclusiveness, coexistence among civilizations, and the respecting the diversity of the world civilizations. We can draw this kind of spiritual inspirations from the Gandhara civilization. And we need to not only promote the physical world, the heritage, the legacies of Gandhara civilization, okay, to the world, but also to promote a kind of idea or thought that is mutual understanding, mutual beneficial. Okay, so that is far more important than the Buddha statues. Okay, in this sense. Next one. So lastly, I would like to talk a little about, because I'm from communication field. In communication field, we usually defined our communication in terms of 5 Ws. That means who says what to whom, in which channel, okay, with what effect. Okay, so this is about communication strategies. When we are trying to illuminate the future, we are promoting, we are designing a kind of communication strategies for our future. So I think there are a lot of relationship we need, there are some misconceptions we need to balance, all right? The first one, okay. The first one, I think that is the stakeholders, okay? Because the stakeholders means the sender, okay? Means the sender. It is not a solo of the government, okay? So if only the government dominated the promotion, I think, so then this kind of promotion, we are doomed to fail, okay? There are many, all right. Okay, it should be, okay, it should be a chorus of all the people, all the stakeholders involved, like the government, the practitioners, the monks, the scholars, the common citizens, and also the media groups, all the people involved. So that's the meaning, that's the essence when I say Gandhara civilization, okay, so it is emphasizing each and every of us, okay. It should not be a solo of the government, but a chorus of all the people involved. Okay, next one. Okay, the messages. So when we are communicating, so we need to design our messages, right? So for this symposium, we have a slogan that is, each stone tells a story. So I just want to ask you, what is the story behind the each stone? Can you tell us? Probably not. Okay, we know that each stone tells a story, but what is the story? Okay, I think we need to dig out the story behind the stone and present to the audience and set the agenda for the audience and construct a narrative for the audience. Then they can consume this idea. That is what I mean. Idea matters, all right? So, because we are human beings, we are really concerned, okay? We are always just puzzled or in exploration of the meaning. What's the meaning behind that? So, okay, yeah. Okay, let me see. Positioning, okay. So when we are designing this kind of messages, we need root on our soil. Okay, that means we need to go back to our history, go back to the culture, and go back to our national conditions. Okay, go back to each and every of us on the Pakistan land. Then try to design the unique, the creative, okay, meaning or idea or messages for our campaign. So here I give you an example. Okay, years ago there is a campaign for our neighbor country, that is India. They created an incredible India. Okay, they used the words incredible, okay, to sum up all the meanings, all the concept behind the physical world. right? I think that is a great success. When we are designing our messages, we need to have an idea. We need to have a concept behind it, okay? Next one. So this is, I think in China we have a great promotion of the Gandhara civilization at the Summer Palace. Okay, so we use the words 僻若香山. So because Gandhara, there's a meaning that means that is the land for fragrance, the land of water. So we use the words fragrant because fragrance means a lot to the Chinese people. Then we have this kind of exhibition, okay? So we use the words, okay, the land from the land of fragrance. Okay, so it promotes the mutual understanding between the Pakistan people and the Chinese, and also promote the civilization, the interconnection. Okay. Next one, lastly, is about audiences. When we are doing a kind of communication, audiences is always very important because we are going to win the heart and mind of the people, right? So we should not have all the audience included because the world is so big, okay? We have differences in terms of religion, in terms of political systems, right? In terms of ideologies. We have so many differences. If you want to win all the heart and mind of all the world people, I think you are doomed to fail. What shall we do? Okay, so from my side, from my mind, we need to have a kind of targeted communication. That means we need to classify our audiences in terms of their religion, in terms of their ideologies, etc. So first of all, when we are promoting Gandhara civilization to the world, first of all, we need to present Gandhara civilization to our neighboring countries because we shared a community, right? So I think first of all, the first step should be step forward for our neighboring countries, all right? So lastly, that is because communication is all about, it's not only about information, but also about the heart, right? The mind of the people. So it should be, okay, people-oriented. So if we are going to design a kind of communication, I would like to prefer the idea, okay, that is immersive, okay, communication. What is immersive communication? Just now, the former professor, okay, demonstrated we practice a kind of Buddhism. That is a kind, you inhale, you exhale, right? That is immersive, all right? Because our people always resort to their five senses, right? When we are doing, okay, this kind of promotion, immersive communication is very, very important. Not only the physical world, but also the spiritual, right? Okay, lastly, I try to wrap up all my point. So when we are going to present the Gandhara civilization to the world, okay, we need to pay attention to the following relationship. First of all, it is not only a communication, but also an all-out campaign for the modernization of the Pakistan government, for the Pakistan people. Next, it is not only about the international audiences, but also more about the Pakistani people, audiences themselves. It is not only about Buddhism, but more about the inter-civilization of the East and the West, the peaceful coexistence between different religious groups, okay? Next one, it is not only about the statues, the stupas, the physical world, but more about the spiritual, okay, more about the ideas. And finally, I just emphasize the stakeholders, the messages, and the audiences when we are designing our messages from the communication field, okay? I think that's all for my main argument. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Debo. So to sum up the session, I think we have very interesting papers, and like I always think that this subject should be a multidisciplinary. So this panel was an ideal panel that we had multidisciplinary people. We had educationists, we had physical heritage conservation, and then we had strategic planning person, and then a communication person. So in this panel, we discussed, just to sum up the panel, we discussed some outreach programs in the museums, which I believe that museums are a vital part of spreading the knowledge about not only about the archaeology, history, but also to preserve it and how to relate it to the younger generation and to our general public. It's very, very important. Museums are indirect educational institutions, and we need to pay more attention to that. So, okay, sites are preserved, but we need to show the public and relate and how to bring these audience to the sites, because usually people don't relate museum objects with the sites, and they don't know that they can go and physically visit those sites actually. So this is a very important aspect Dr. Ruth discussed. And then Ms. Jung from Korean Culture Project discussed about how Korea is playing a vital role in conservation, providing the equipments and conservation trainings, which are, of course, very, very important for us all over Pakistan, not only here, but the resource is very, very important nowadays, and training, and how they are giving these site excavation strategies trainings as well, and digital documentation, of course, and the inventories. Then we had our esteemed person from the finance, and he discussed the multidisciplinary approach, how you can include finance into archaeology or heritage. That's one of the very important aspects, and nowadays we are having a whole branch of tourism which is dealing with trade and tourism. So these kind of ideas are very, very important for all of us. And then Dr. Ratna, he discussed Gandhara, beyond Gandhara, like starting from Harappa. And I think very few people know that in Sindh we have more than 600 stupas, mostly destroyed now. But it was the main center of Buddhism, and it was called Bodh Gaya. We have petroglyphs which are documented, but not all of them in Sindh. So we need to pay attention to Buddhism, like most of you said. That's not only sculpture and statues, it is actually the civilization which was beyond this area also. It was all over the Sindh. And this was the main base of Buddhism before the advent of Islam in Sindh. Then types of Buddha were discussed, and very interestingly, we observed the meditation process for 1 minute. And then Dr. Dibao, in the end, discussed the communication field, how you can apply the communication, and for the future, the mobilization of people, different groups of people, and how to get away with the misconception of our identity. And very rightly, he said that it's about civilization. It's not only statues and the monuments we have. So I believe that it was a very interesting session, and you must be having a lot of questions, but I'm sorry for the constraint of time. We cannot ask for questions, but you're welcome to ask questions from the speakers during the tea time. Thank you so much for your attention, and thank you all for your very good presentations.
Ladies and gentlemen, this brings us to the end of the session 4. We will now begin with the concluding preliminary.
Ladies and gentlemen, please keep sitting, because of paucity of time, we will begin the concluding session right away. Please sit down. So we begin the next and concluding session of the symposium.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now request Dr. Abdul Samad to present the summary of the conference.
Thank you, Maruf. The Honorable Federal Minister, Minister of State's Chairman, Prime Minister Task Force for Gandhara Tourism, most venerable and monks, dignitaries, excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I'll be sharing the summary of this 2-day symposium here. The salient features from this symposium are as follows. The primary objective of the symposium is to increase the spotlight of Gandhara civilization and raise global awareness about the Gandhara civilization. We must take this as an extraordinary opportunity to explore new avenues for the preservation, protection, and promotion of the remarkable Buddhist remains. The symposium is a commitment to revival of civilization and need to be capitalized and built upon. There is immense potential that cultural diplomacy holds in strengthening global ties. Cultural diplomacy transcends boundaries and fosters understanding and appreciation among the nations. The journey to revive the global Gandhara civilization and Buddhist heritage in Pakistan is the vital and in this regard. Cultural diplomacy also encompasses the promotion of interfaith harmony and tolerance. The principle of Buddhism can be harnessed to cultivate a society that values diversity, respects religious pluralism, and champions of peaceful coexistence. The message of peace from religion is the most important in today's polarized world. The message of peace from Buddhism and all religion is the inspiration that world needs to revive peace and harmony is the biggest challenge of this today's world. And Pakistan is the seat of cultural diplomacy due to Gandhara civilization. Buddhism spreads the message of peace, harmony, and tolerance. The message needs to be universalized. There is a need to develop Gandhara civilization as a Pakistan heritage, not just Buddhist heritage. There is also a need of counter-Western media that presents a negative image of Pakistan, which discourage people visiting to this beautiful country. Archaeologists must be invited to explore and conduct comprehensive research on Gandhara. Preservation and revival of Gandhara will attract tourism from all over the Buddhist country as well as from the other part of the world. It is a perfect time for Pakistan to capitalize on its heritage of ancient civilization. Ladies and gentlemen, Pakistan stands as a land of cultural diversity and remarkable Buddhist legacy. Buddhism has played a significant role in Pakistan. Pakistan is blessed with a rich cultural heritage, especially Gandhara civilization. Buddhism is the essence of peace, and peaceful and harmonized society are the epitome of interfaith harmony. Therefore, promoting and preserving the ancient site is very much important. In the context of Buddhism, Gandhara civilization holds a special place. It was in this sacred land that the timeless teaching of Buddha found resonance and were skillfully intertwined with the rich cultural fabric of this region. Today, as a custodian of Buddhist heritage and advocates of its profound wisdom, it is our duty to promote the significance of Gandhara and ensure its preservation for future generations. Furthermore, promoting Gandhara requires collaboration and unity among the nations, organizations, and individuals who share a common interest in safeguarding our shared heritage. The promotion of Gandhara must extend beyond academia and cultural institutions. Pakistan is a safe country for tourism, and all the state machinery needs to put in efforts to elevate this industry. There is a lot of potential for Buddhism and Buddhist tourism in Pakistan with potential earnings of up to $30 billion. The government of Pakistan need to promote the real image of this country to achieve all these potentials. The next one is social media. Social media is a great tool which can be used by the government of Pakistan and its private sector to promote Pakistan tourism sector. And Pakistan must collaborate with universities in Buddhist countries to establish a department dedicated to Gandhara only in order to promote revival of Gandhara civilization. At least one archaeological and Buddhist philosophy department must be established in every university. Takshila University should be established in Pakistan, along with creating awareness and promoting of Buddhist community and their contribution to the Gandhara civilization. Buddhism and Gandhara have beautiful linkages with each other. The present day Pakistan is the window to connect with the world in a more compassionate, peaceful and positive way so that conflict, especially in this part of the world, can be reduced. Thank you very much.
I now request Dr. Ramesh Kumar Wankwani for his concluding remarks.
Excellency, our Federal Minister for Religious Affairs and Interfaith Harmony, most vulnerable monks, scholars, content writers, diplomats, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, namaste, peace. Today, I want to start from some quote. I have a dream that my little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. Dr. Martin Luther King. My dream becomes a true because when I researched that the Abraham Lincoln dream, when there was a difference between the black and white, but Abraham Lincoln dream will be fulfilled by the people of the American people. And Chinese dream, Xi Jinping, you are looking at how the China is going to fulfill their dream, and the nation is standing behind them. Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah dream fulfilled by the public people of the Pakistan, of the Muslim majority country. My dream that one day my beloved country, peaceful, prosperous, progressive, tourist friendly in the eyes of the international community and also in the eyes of the national community. Very much happy when during some chit-chat and some conferences in different sessions, heart-touch feelings of from different countries, most vulnerable monks and monks, content writer, that today we can't express the word that what are our feelings. But I am expecting more feelings of our distinguished guests after 2 hours when they will reach the Texla land. The Texla, the original name was the Takshashila. So for that, I have the dream that to preserve and to highlight the Buddhism more, the Gandhara civilization. What is the Gandhara civilization? The things which are, some things are tangible, some things are intangible. And the heritage site, the preservation, protection, maintenance, and the tourist, friendly tourist country is the one side. But second is the humanity. And the chapter of our philosopher Chankya and his book Arth Shastra and Chankya Niti starts from the Texla. So today, my wish that we will start from the Texla by signing the Takshashila declaration before the Dharma stupa, with conclusion that we, the signatories of Takshashila declaration, reaffirm our commitment to the protection and preservation of Gandhara heritage by implementing the principles and actions outlined herein. We seek to ensure the safeguarding of this unique, irreplicable legacy for the benefit of all humanity, fostering cultural understanding and inspiring future generations. This is my dream. And when your dream is for the humanity and your commitment is firm, not be disappointed in life. I have learned a lot from so many research that one day the God will give a chance, God will give a way, and your dream will be completed. It is my belief. And today, I am seeing that within 1.5 months, because I have taken the charge on 22nd May, so run documentary, second page documentary laga. When I took the charge, I have given the target to myself that how I can complete all these targets within short span of time. Still, my feelings when I met with some most vulnerable monks and their views, my commitment will be more strong that one day daily flights will be there from majority of the Buddhist countries on daily basis. Here in Pakistan, we are ready to welcome you. Two countries already committed for charter flight. We have already introduced a web portal. Web portal is here with the name of Gandhara. So I have in short time, because we have to go, and our chief guest today, especially we have invited the religious minister, because there is a perception that religious ministry or religious people are not interested for other religion to facilitate. I think this is wrong perception. And today is the proof that religious minister is here to welcome you, not only welcome you, but he personally contacted me that I want to submit my personal gifts to the international delegates. So we are thankful that he told me that I want to give the personal gift to all the, it gives a good message. So I am thankful from our forum. So I have given the target, 22nd May took the charge. Buddha Purnima on 26th May, 31st May, Shah Ladita visit with some diplomats, and then 7th June, Takht Bhai visit with diplomats. Then again on next week, aage chalaye beta, chalate jan. So in this way, I have every religion. I also attended so many conferences on different religion. In Muslim community, in Buddhist community, in Jain community, in Hindu community. And when I attended a conference in Muslim community, I will tell you that उर्दू में मैंने एक नात पढ़ी थी, क्योंकि मैंने मदीना रियासत के ऊपर भी रिसर्च की है, और जैसे मैं गंधारा सिविलाइजेशन की बात कर रहा हूँ कि गंधारा सिविलाइजेशन में जो ह्यूमैनिटी थी और वो जो मदीना रियासत के अंदर ह्यूमैनिटी थी, तो मैंने पाकिस्तान के अंदर जब उलमा से जब मैं मिला, तो मैं एक सीरत कॉन्फ्रेंस चल रही थी, वहाँ पे मैंने हुजूर के शान में एक नात पढ़ी थी। मैं चाहूँगा कि उसके दो अल्फाज आपके सामने पढ़ूँ। मेरे सीने की धड़कन है, मेरी आँखों के तारे हैं। मैंने हुजूर से एक मोहब्बत का, क्योंकि उनको रहमतुल आलमीन का लक़ब खुद रब्बुल आलमीन ने दिया। मेरे सीने की धड़कन है, मेरी आँखों के तारे हैं, सहारा बेसहारों का खुदा के वो दुलारे हैं, सहारा बेसहारों का खुदा के वो दुलारे हैं। हमें समझकर फ़कत अपना हमें तक़सीम ना करना, नबी जितने तुम्हारे हैं नबी उतने हमारे हैं। रेस्पेक्ट होनी चाहिए। और ये मैसेज मैंने उस वक्त, मुझे कभी मौका नहीं मिला, मैंने हमेशा कहा कि मैंने काफ़ी रिसर्च की हुई है, मुझे जब सीरत कॉन्फ्रेंस हो तो उधर मैं आऊँ बात करने के लिए, क्योंकि मैंने हर रिलीजन की, मगर कहने लगे कि नहीं डॉक्टर साहब आप नहीं। ये मैं उर्दू में इस तरह से कह रहा हूँ कि पाकिस्तानी अवाम को पता चले, मगर अभी रिलीजियस मिनिस्टर साहब बैठे हैं तो मैं सब मज़हबों को इकट्ठा करके एक ऐसा क्लच बना सकता हूँ कि पाकिस्तान हमारे लिए एक बहुत बड़ा गुलदस्ता, ये मेरा ख्वाब है। और वैसे ही मेरी माँ ने मुझे दुआ की हुई है, मेरे मुर्शिदों ने दुआ की। आज मोस्ट वनरेबल मॉन्क्स एंड कंटेंट राइटर who wants to visit the Pakistan, they also give the blessing and praying for me that I can do for my beloved country of my motherland. It is my dream. So I need the support from all over the world and the people of our country and the powers of our country, because in my dream since 2002, my struggle since 21 years to fulfill this dream, not only 1 or 2 years. Whenever I achieve this target, then again some issue. But my commitment is that one day will come, because your first commandment, God blessing, with God blessing, your vision will be completed. So this is Buddhist heritage site. I highlighted all these, but thoda jaldi chalaएं कि निकलना है. So rock at heritage tourism, Buddhist tourism, potential of Buddhist tourism here. Initially I have introduced only 50 sites, 38 Buddhist sites, 10 Hindu sites, 2 Jain sites. अगर 2 Hindu site, only 2 Hindu site, टेरी और हिंगलाज, 2 को अगर हम इंट्रोड्यूस आगे करते हैं तो ये डेली हेलीकॉप्टर चलें तो भी कम पड़ेंगे. Current Buddhist heritage tourism, only I have focused 500 million people of the South Asia, and we have a good relation. I need the connectivity between the countries, connectivity with trade, with people to people contact, with cultural activity, with tourism activity. So I need the connectivity of between the different countries, and the benefit of our strategic position will come when our connectivity with the world will increase day by day through this tourism. And with this, we will prove that how our image, our economy, our loving people impression and business community will be happy soon. Aage chale. So this is revenue. If we will go on this side, this is an aspect. But my dream is more than economy. My dream is the humanity. My dream is the love. My dream is the rights of every people, every religion. It was the dream of the 11th August of Qaid-e-Azam Muhammad Ali Jinnah expressed in the 11th August speech. Aage chale. For this, some people, some interrogators told me that facilities for this, we have attraction already, accessibility, accommodation, activities and amenities. We are working on it with war footing. So don't worry about this. Aage chale. I have given the 10 targets. Thoda beta fast chalein, 2 minute mein khatam kare. Working for improvement of visa regime. We have done that. We will facilitate you and will give you visa within 7 days. Within 7 days you will get the visa, and you apply on the portal. Through this portal you apply for the visa. Already our government have announced the e-visa. So through this e-visa you will get the visa within 7 days. But I hope today you will give a good message to your country, to your leadership of your country, to the people of your country, to the followers of your country, that Pakistan is a safe haven and you can go visit and go to the Taxla, go to the Takhbai, go to the Sawat original birthplace of Buddhism. Aage chale. So these are connectivity. First you start from the chartered flight. Then with B2B agreement, G2G agreement, government to government, business to business, people to people, we will increase the flights on daily basis. And this day will become soon. National Act, I already told you in my yesterday's speech that I have submitted the bill to the Prime Minister, and this bill will be approved in this month. So policy will be announced, especially for the Buddhist tourist. Web portal, already web portal have been done. So through this web portal, you can select the tourist, you can select the hotel, you can go directly for the e-visa. These are some pictures of the 1-month initiative. चलें आगे. आगे चलते जाएं. Way forward. Authority, I already told you. Archaeological, I wish that today in Texla we will announce the Takshashila declaration. I will share the copies to you. I have already shared the copies with the diplomats. Authority shall focus self-sustainable. आगे चलें. ये मैं पाकिस्तान के लिए बताना चाहता हूँ हमारी आवाम को कि मैंने इस अथॉरिटी को सेल्फ सस्टेनेबल लिखा है, क्योंकि पाकिस्तान धरती जो है वो माँ का रिश्ता रखती है, और जो वॉलंटियर लोग यहाँ पे आएंगे वो काम करेंगे, जो तनख्वाहदार पैसे वाले आए जो आएंगे वो काम नहीं कर सकेंगे. इस वजह से मैंने ज़्यादा फोकस इसके ऊपर किया है कि सेल्फ सस्टेनेबल होना चाहिए. जो इदारा सेल्फ सस्टेनेबल होगा वो ही आगे तरक्की करेगा. सो गंधारा, इन दिस अथॉरिटी आई हैव फोकस्ड फॉर द गंधारा टूरिज्म प्रमोशन सेंटर, research center, media center, and heritage and export center. Yesterday, the most vulnerable from Malaysia, she gave me Buddha. She wants that I need this Buddha, and there is a talent in Pakistan. So if you will make this Buddha, I will purchase from you, you export from your country. I am working on it. I am working on it. On the art who are going to promote the Buddhism. So in every art, there will be no restriction. Previous there was, but there will be no restriction in the future. I will make a mechanism that how I can promote the art. So it is my dream. So finally, I am again thankful. The most, so many points already noted, but I need the support from your side and especially the media. The local media, you see the coverage in the local media, but international media should also promote that Pakistan is going to facilitate all the Buddhist tourists here to visit, but start soon, because the good work should start from today, not from tomorrow. So whoever want, we are ready to facilitate from today, not from tomorrow. So just go for the e-visa. We will facilitate them. We will accommodate them. Again, I am thankful to religious minister. I hope his presence here will also clear your misconception about the Pakistan, that religious, because the religious factor and the JUIF, the minister from the Jamiat-ul-Islam, the religious party, but he is also welcoming you. So I want that I personally request him that come on the stage and for the as a chief guest for the welcoming and for the final remarks. Honorable chief guest, my brother Senator Tala Saab. Aye, sir.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم نحمد ونصلي على رسوله الكريم. Most respectable monks, distinguished guests, excellencies, esteemed scholars, academics, cultural experts, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor for me to be arranged this very big conference, to be among us all of you to conclude the 3-day conference on cultural diplomacy, reviving Gandhara civilization and Buddhist heritage in Pakistan. I understand it was exchange of ideas filled with enlightening discussions on Gandhara civilization, Buddhist heritage, and tourism potential of Pakistan. As we have delved into the depth of history, we find that Pakistan is not only the keeper of the world's early urban cultures in the Indus Valley, but also the custodian of monumental heritage of ancient Gandhara civilization. The Gandhara civilization stands as one of the most significant centers of Buddhist civilization in Pakistan that include Taxila, Peshawar, and Charsadda. And fortunately, I'm also belong the area of Khanpur, that is located in district Haripur, and I know that it is adjacent with Taxila, and many precious archaeological and this Gandhara civilization is attached my district, and I know many things about this civilization. Their archaeological remain of an aesthetic culture that continues to inspire us to this day. As its zenith, the political and cultural influence of the Gandhara civilization spread far beyond the territorial limits of today's northern Pakistan. We witness its impact through numerous stupas, monasteries, and city settlement in Punjab and Sindh. These remnants of the past serve as a testament to Pakistan's remarkable Buddhist heritage and hold immense historical, cultural, and religious significance for both Buddhists within the country and Buddhists across the world. Beyond their historical and cultural value, these archaeological sites, ancient Buddhist monasteries, and Gandhara artifacts offer incredible potential for religious and cultural diplomacy as well as tourism. They serve as bridges connecting nations, fostering understanding and building lasting friendship. Through the lens of cultural diplomacy, we can showcase the beauty and wisdom encapsulated in these relics, inviting people from all walks of life to immerse themselves in the teaching of compassion, peace, and tolerance. In the current global landscape, where forces of hatred are gaining ground and polarization threatens to disrupt fabrics of societies across the world, the Buddhist teaching of peace, compassion, and tolerance hold truer than ever. The ideals of Buddhism, rooted in tolerance and brotherhood, have the power to counter the demons of racism, xenophobia, and religious intolerance. By promoting interfaith harmony and embracing diversity, we can forge a path towards a more peaceful, harmonious, and inclusive world. I want to add something more, that I want to explain a hadith here. Our most precious place, that is in Medina Munawwara, Haram Sharif, Masjid al-Nabawi. We have two very, very respectable and most religious places, that is Makkah Mukarramah and Medina Munawwara. Medina Munawwara, where our Paigambar, our Prophet, Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, we have a Roza Rasul, he has buried there. And the same place, that is the Masjid al-Nabawi. I heard a hadith that Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was sitting in Masjid al-Nabawi, in mosque, that is our precious place. A delegation of other religion persons came to meet our Prophet, and they met our Prophet. They were sitting in that precious place, and discussion was started. Suddenly, that delegation told our Prophet that that this is the time of our worship, so we need a break, and we want to worship. Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam has said, in Masjid al-Nabawi, in a corner, he said, please go and sit there, and whatever you want to worship, you worship. Our religion is a peaceful religion. He teaches a peace to every religion. And we have learned a lesson from our Prophet, peace be upon him, that every human right, even every human being has a right for the freedom of their religion. Ladies and gentlemen, PM's Task Force on Gandhara Tourism, Institute of Strategic Studies Islamabad and Directorate of Archaeology and Museum, Government of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, have taken remarkable initiative by organizing this symposium, which has provided a platform for scholars, policy makers, cultural experts, and stakeholders to engage in dialogue, share their expertise, and devise strategies for the preservation, conservation, and restoration of Gandhara civilization. Furthermore, the conference has focused on developing sustainable tourism initiative. They revolve around the rich heritage of the Gandhara civilization. By doing so, we can attract visitors from all corners of the globe, enabling them experience the grandeur of this ancient civilization and fostering economic growth for our country. As my brother, he has said that we have made a very soft policy for our respectable monks. If they want to visit Pakistan, we will give every type of facilities, security, whatever they want, we will provide, inshallah. Moreover, this conference has highlighting the pivotal role of cultural diplomacy in strengthening bilateral and multilateral relations. It has emphasized the need for peaceful conscience and the promotion of intercultural dialogue as essential tools for fostering understanding and mutual respect among nations. Cultural diplomacy enables us to transcend barriers, celebrate our shared heritage, and create a world where cultural diversity is embraced and cherished. As we conclude this conference, let us remember the profound impact we can make when we come together in the spirit of unity and collaboration. Let us carry the torch of cultural diplomacy forward and continue to promote the teaching of peace, compassion, and tolerance. The legacy of Gandhara civilization and Buddhist heritage in Pakistan is not just a relic of the past, it is a guiding light that can illuminate our present and inspire our future. चाहते हैं कि मैं थोड़ा सा उर्दू में भी अपने मीडिया के लिए और बाकी लोगों के लिए बात कर सकूं. Actually, they want that I want to talk some sentences in Urdu for my media and other people also. हम वेलकम करते हैं हर रिलीजन के लोग जो भी पाकिस्तान आना चाहें. और गंधारा सिविलाइजेशन, ये सिविलाइजेशन जो है बहुत बड़ी कम्युनिटी है, बहुत बड़ी पॉपुलेशन है पूरी दुनिया के अंदर. और हर इंसान की ख्वाहिश है कि उसकी रूह मुतमईन हो. और चाहे कोई शख्स किसी भी मज़हब से ताल्लुक़ रखता है, उसको सुकून और खुशी उसके मज़हब के अंदर उसके पर अमल करके उसको मिलती है, चाहे वो किसी अंदाज में भी हो. इसलिए मैं दावत देता हूँ पूरी दुनिया के जो भी हमारी पॉपुलेशन है, दुनिया के लोग हैं जिनका जिस रिलीजन से भी ताल्लुक़ है, चाहे वो मॉन्क्स हैं, हमारे इंतहाई रिस्पेक्टेबल हैं, चाहे उनका ताल्लुक़ सिख बरादरी से है, चाहे उनका ताल्लुक़ क्रिश्चियन बरादरी से है, चाहे उनका ताल्लुक़ हिंदुइज्म से है, जिस भी रिलीजन से उनका ताल्लुक़ है और वो पाकिस्तान आना चाहते हैं और पाकिस्तान में अपनी इबादतगाहों की या जो उनकी बैकग्राउंड है उसमें वो अपना टाइम गुजारना चाहते हैं, मैं वज़ीर मज़हबी अमूर एंड इंटरफेथ हारमनी गवर्नमेंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान और पाकिस्तानी अवाम की तरफ से दावत देता हूँ कि पाकिस्तान उनके लिए खुला हुआ है. और दूसरी बात, पाकिस्तान में ज़्यादा तादाद मुसलमानों की है, लेकिन हम खुश आमदेद कहते हैं अपने हर मज़हब के लोग कि वो आएँ और अपनी रिलीजियस टूरिज़म के हवाले से हमारे गेट ओपन है खुले दिल के साथ, और हम उनको खुश आमदेद कहते हैं. पाकिस्तानी लोग बहुत मेहमान नवाज हैं, बहुत मोहब्बत करने वाले लोग हैं. ये जो आजकल दुनिया में मुसलमानों के हवाले से एक प्रोपेगेंडा है, ये बिल्कुल एक प्रोपेगेंडा है. ना मेरा मजहब ये सिखाता है, ना मेरी अखलाकियात ये सिखाती हैं। किसी भी हवाले से हम इस बात को एक्सेप्ट भी नहीं करते, और हम किसी के साथ भी कोई तशद्दुद या इस तरह की चीज़ों पर बिलीव बिल्कुल नहीं रखते। ये गलत प्रमोशन है। हम तो मोहब्बत करने वाले लोग हैं, हम तो प्यार करने वाले लोग हैं। ये तो मैं खुद नहीं कह रहा, ये मेरे पैगंबर ने मुझे सिखाया है। मेरा कुरान शरीफ उठा के देखें, मेरी अहादीस उठा के देखें, उसमें आपको हर तरफ प्यार का दर्स मिलेगा, बर्दाश्त का दर्स मिलेगा, मोहब्बत का दर्स मिलेगा। मैं एक वाक़या सुनाता हूँ, और मैं ये इंग्लिश में सुनाऊंगा, जो भी मेरी टूटी फूटी इंग्लिश है। माय प्रॉफिट, पीस बी अपॉन हिम, he always whenever he go to somewhere, he has to cross a street. One lady, she want to express her hate, and she throw dirty things to my prophet every day. But my prophet, my holy prophet, peace be upon him, he didn't react. He just passes the street, and every day he passes the street like this. One day when he was passing that street, nobody has thrown that dirty things or whatever, throw to my prophet, peace be upon him. When my prophet came back to his place, he inquired that what happened that lady, because when I was crossing the street, nobody has thrown the dirty things upon me. Then he came to know that she is sick. My prophet went to her house for asking, you are sick, can I do something for you? This is the lesson my prophet teaches to our Muslim people. So this concept, in my opinion, normally which is expanding about the Muslim, that is wrong. Anyway, I conclude my discussion. I extend my heartfelt gratitude to the PM's Task Force on Gandhara Tourism, Institute of Strategic Studies Islamabad, and Directorate of Archaeology and Museum, Government of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, for organizing this remarkable conference and providing a platform for collective learning and collaboration. I applaud the faith leaders, scholars, academics, experts, and stakeholders who have shared their knowledge and insight during these past 2 days. Together, we have taken a significant step toward reviving the Gandhara civilization and preserving its Buddhist heritage, not only for Pakistan, but for the world. To conclude, let us move ahead, hand in hand, building a future where cultural diplomacy reigns supreme and the spirit of harmony and fostering peace prevails. Thank you very much.
I now request Ambassador Sohail Mahmood, Director General, Institute of Strategic Studies, Islamabad, for his vote of thanks.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Honorable Senator Talha Mahmood Saab, Federal Minister for Religious Affairs and Interfaith Harmony, Dr. Ramesh Kumar Wankwani Saab, Minister of State and Chairman of PM Task Force on Gandhara Tourism, Excellencies, respected faith leaders, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. Let me begin by congratulating you all at the successful completion of our academic sessions and indoor deliberations. I believe everyone who has participated in the proceedings over these 2 days would agree that we are just concluding a very meaningful and substantive interaction. The significance of the symposium lay not just in its ability to bring together faith leaders, scholars, experts, practitioners, and policymakers, but also in generating a stimulating environment for an open, constructive, forward-looking, and result-oriented dialogue. We were all united by a common purpose, that is, the preservation, protection, and further promotion of the Buddhist Gandhara heritage in Pakistan. The themes explored, ideas exchanged, and perspectives shared during these enlightening sessions have enriched our knowledge and understanding of the unique Gandhara civilization and its profound impact on human history. This will certainly contribute to enhance public awareness about Gandhara, both within Pakistan and internationally, and help us advance our shared objectives, from disseminating the message of peace and tolerance, to fostering intercultural dialogue and harmony, to promoting faith tourism. The key takeaways from the various sessions would be instrumental in crafting a thoughtful strategy and an action plan for the realization of these goals. In my long list of thanks, I would like to begin with our esteemed foreign participants who graciously accepted our invitation and traveled all the way from Thailand, Vietnam, Malaysia, Nepal, Sri Lanka, South Korea, Myanmar, the UK, and China. Your erudite presentations and thought-provoking discourse have kindled a renewed interest in the Gandhara civilization and its timeless treasures. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend our heartfelt gratitude for your active participation. We also wish you safe travel back home. We are equally indebted to the scholars, researchers, and experts who joined us from within Pakistan. Your expertise and scholarship have been invaluable in providing a comprehensive overview of the historic, artistic, cultural, and religious aspects of Gandhara, and in suggesting a practical way forward in promoting this legacy worldwide. Our most sincere gratitude goes to the Honorable President for his inaugural address and his warm and gracious reception accorded to the participants at the Awan-e-Sadr yesterday. I am sure this served to make the symposium that much more memorable. We also extend deep thanks to our esteemed chief guest for this concluding session, Minister Talha Mahmood Sahab. Your kind support for this initiative and your words of wisdom today have helped further the goals set forth by the organizers. As for the organizers, I would like to pay special thanks to Minister of State, Chairman, PM Task Force on Gandhara Tourism, Dr. Ramesh Kumar Wankwani, as well as Dr. Abdul Samad and his team at the Directorate of Archaeology and Museums, Government of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. This symposium would not have been possible without their support and valuable efforts. The ISSI team, ably led by Dr. Talat Shabir, worked very closely with all the relevant departments and institutions to meticulously plan each activity. I thank everyone in ISSI and partner organizations in successful execution of the program, alhamdulillah. Now, the segment pertaining to the site visits is commencing, and we trust that this part would also be accomplished seamlessly, inshallah. Last but not the least, I would like to express our gratitude to the custodians of the Gandhara civilization and Buddhist heritage in Pakistan, including the local communities. Their efforts in preserving, protecting, and promoting this invaluable heritage are a testament to their unwavering commitment and passion. We acknowledge their indispensable role and reaffirm our fullest support to all their endeavors in ensuring that our future generations can also cherish the profound legacy of Gandhara. In conclusion, let us remember that this symposium is not an endpoint, but rather a stepping stone towards a future where the vibrant spirit of Gandhara civilization and Buddhist heritage thrives. Let us remain committed to nurturing cultural diplomacy, fostering academic and practical collaboration, and spreading the fragrance of Gandhara to the entire world. This symposium has been a resounding success, alhamdulillah, thanks to the unwavering support of you all, and also our team of young volunteers. May the spirit of Gandhara continue to inspire us and guide us towards a future of harmony, enlightenment, and cultural understanding. I thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now invite Dr. Talat Shabir to wrap up the academic proceedings of the day.
Thank you, Maru. Ladies and gentlemen, with this we come to the end of our academic part of symposium. Just before we wrap up, I would just like to, for the information of our honorable guests, this is a book which is written by Jalil Qureshi Saab, and this book is award-winning book, and he wanted to be here with us. He is 98 years old, and he lives where Gandhara is actually, Gandhara lives. So we just request him to keep these books in your rooms. When you go back in the evening, you'll find this book in the gift form in your room. This is another book which is presented by, this is about tourism in Pakistan. This is a pictorial version of Pakistan's potential of tourism. This effort is by Imran Shaukat. You are very familiar with the name. And this book is also in the gift, and you'll also find this book in the gift pack when you go back to your room. Honorable Federal Minister, Senator Talab Mahmood, has also a gift for you. Please come here. This is a gift for all the honorable guests, and you'll also find this gift when you reach back your home in the room in the evening. Thank you. And there are also desires by the honorable guests. They also want to exchange gifts with some of us maybe. So I think that can be done during the tea time. With this, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of academic part of Symposium 2023. Thank you very much for joining us. We have tea served, please. एक का चाय का बाहर है इंतज़ाम उस तरफ है और ऑनरेबल गेस्ट यहाँ पे इस तरफ है जी